Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Mack.
Good afternoon, Pastor Shirley, and good afternoon to those of you who are going to share some time with us today.
Oh, yes, it is such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day and being back after about a month off. And people are aware that we are revamping and getting ready for another year. So I am just so grateful, so grateful. And dear God, thank you for another year. Thank you for Dr. Mack. Thank you for our audience thing. Thank you for the Mothers Board Incorporated. We are so happy and thankful to you that you are allowing us to share our thoughts on different events, different subjects, topics, different happenings in this whole wide world. And we are so thankful. And Lord, I ask you if you would bless and keep everyone and give them the happiness, the compassion, everything that they need in you. In Jesus' name I pray and give thanks to you.
Amen.
Amen. Have statement.
Well, just glad to be back, and it's a good thing to be back in Black History Month or Black Heritage Month, whatever you choose to call it, as long as you remember why we celebrate it. And we're also delighted to be
Oh,
back
yeah.
the Friday before Valentine's Day. And I would remind everyone that it's not only that candy, flower, take me out to dinner kind of thing, but Valentine's Day is actually a religious holiday. It began as a religious celebration of love and commitment, as Pastor Polk just said. So we have so many reasons to be thankful. Pastor Shirley?
Things are happening each and every day in this world. So many things are happening. And I just heard it sound like someone came in. I don't, let me see. I want to check this out before I go farther. I guess not. I heard it sounded like someone
I,
as it come in, but
I did hear it
did you hear?
also. Yes,
Yes.
your ears aren't playing
Hmm.
tricks on you. I promise you.
Right. Yes. So okay. I don't see anybody, so that's good. So we will continue. We will continue. I see we changed positions, so maybe that's what was happening. But that's
Yeah,
fine
we did
too.
change position. Yes.
Uh-huh. So that shows how we are.
Oh wow.
It-
Oh wow.
so coming up, we have topics to discuss. Dr. Bridget and I have contributed, and they are
Yes,
very interesting. Very
they.
interesting. And go right ahead, Dr. Mag.
Oh, I was going to ask if we could start with yours because I'm intrigued.
Oh,
Your
so
questions.
we'll do. Yes. Okay. Do you have
Uh-huh.
feelings, concerns, or comments about Pastor Freddie Haynes' bid for Congress? And what do you think of his platform?
Yeah.
And my thing is that I am glad, happy that he chose to run. It takes courage. Takes great consideration, concentration on everything because we know how these political battles go. And people would go back to before you were conceived to try to find something on you that is
I'm
negative if
sorry.
you are the if you are the opponent. And so he considered all of that before he decided to step into the race. And of course, we know that he is running for district
Excuse
congressional
me.
district 30. Oh yes, excused. Congressional district 30, which is now held by Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, and she is has put her bid in
Mm-hmm.
for the U.S. Senate. So this is interesting, and I'm glad because I believe that he will be a great representative, but we know that he's going to need our votes and he needs our support. Most of all, our prayers. Prayers can reach where money or vote
Uh,
can't. Prayer will make. So I say congratulations to Pastor Haynes, and I'm with you. I'm with you, and I believe that he really, really considered everything, and he prayed about it. I really do, because this is not a light
mhm.
decision, not at all. So, and
Yeah.
I do have his platform, but I'm going to turn. I mean, for coming.
No, no. I was going to ask you to share the information you have regarding his platform. I've not received anything or any calls or any of that regarding his running, and that's the present mail system isn't what it
Oh,
was.
okay.
It too has been revised and revamped. So, what what are some
I
of
want to
his
get
highlights?
okay. I want to first get your opinion or feeling about him being in the race for
Oh,
the
okay. Well, as I said,
Congress.
I did watch on the news that he announced that he would be a candidate for it. Um, you know how they do
Hmm.
those little blurbs on the evening news. But other than that, I do know that he's a renowned pastor and author here in the city. Um, that he's had
Hmm.
conferences and he's had his tragedies, but he seems to be bouncing back. He is the same one that Jesse Jackson wanted for head of the Rainbow Coalition. Am I talking about the same guy? You remember when Jesse resigned because
That's
of his
Pastor
health?
Freddie Haynes. Yes, and he's
I
right,
think
and
he's the
he's and
same
Pastor
one.
Haynes did it, and he did take in, and after 3 months he resigned.
Yeah, I think possibly his running for this Texas position may have been in his mind and in the works even then.
And so, back to full time. I guess full time pastor. I say I guess full time. So much
Hmm.
other than. Hmm. And so,
Yes.
Pastor Frederick Haynes III runs, and he filed to run for the seat currently held by Congresswoman Jasmine.
Hmm. What are some of the things that he stands for?
Many of the same things, and I like it
That's what I thought.
because you don't
Okay.
you don't hear you hear people. Some people try to change all of that, and I'm sure he has his own separate things that are different from hers, but I think they'll all work together. And so he's running for District 30,
Okay.
and for more than 40 years, he's walked alongside the people in the district, and he served and he organized, and
Mhm.
he's fighting for a more just and equitable future. And so he
Okay.
said in his statement today, our nation face challenges that demand bold, courageous leadership. And he ain't, what's that they say? He ain't never lied. He said, I am running for Congress to ensure that the people of District 30 have a representative who is committed, present, and prepared to fight for their interests every single day. And he said his decision, no, I had a pop up here. Come on, get out of my way, pop up. Let me, okay. So he has, he had a bout with his health there. I think yes. He's been a significant public figure leading a congregation of 13,000 people. And in
Mhm.
2024, he was also sworn in, of course, as we say, CEO of the Push Operation. And then let me get down to here. Did I pass them? Let me see. Okay, I might have to go back up. Yes, I'll have to go back up to get to what he said. But most of it I covered when I was talking about
Mhm.
and working for the community. That is really, really favorable for him is he didn't just start work. He's been
No, he's
doing
been
it
working.
all the time
Okay.
for many years. Uh-huh. So, and if anybody, this is a Dallas, this is a WFAA article,
Okay.
and it was released. Released. I'll give you the date. Uh, 8 p.m. December, and it was updated on December the 9th. And so, I'm taking my
Okay.
time. This one thing about having your own show, you can take your time. You don't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
Sponsors or anybody like that or anything. So we
Well,
take our time on here and spread the word. So what do you think now?
what I was going to say is, it's good that you're taking your time, but you're also sharing information.
Yes. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. For some
Yeah, the
reason, the
fact.
TV came back on. Okay, I'm listening.
Well, and it is a community service in a way. Um, I'm one of those who likes to read, and and don't necessarily, there's certain stations I don't listen to, but WFAA is not one of them. It is one of the stations I do listen to. But the fact
Okay.
that you started off by saying that they the policies of Jasmine Crockett and Pastor Haynes um, sort of line up together, that's a powerful situation. Because if he feels as strongly about
Right.
people in District 30 as she did, there's no way you can lose with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
I'm very,
And
I was so glad to see the question. I mean, I panicked when I saw it, but then I thought, okay, she's gonna give me background today. She's gonna tell me what I should know.
oh, of course,
And if
we
it's
failed.
the same person, and if it's the same
Yes.
person I'm thinking of, it's okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And what he said, my life's work has centered on improving educational opportunities, expanding access to health care, combating systemic racism,
That's
advancing racial and gender equity, and defending democracy. And he said, I am
okay.
running to continue that work in Congress, advocating for policies that strengthen families, empower communities, and
Excellent.
ensure every person has the opportunity to thrive. That is Pastor
That's
Freddie
excellent.
Haynes.
And I
Oh,
can
yeah.
attest to the fact that he did intervene and probably still does with the youth of the community every year. Would
Hmm.
invite the high school students to a summit at his
Okay.
church, and it's actually a really great forum, open forum, for the kids to say,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
um, what they were thinking. They would some
Hmm.
years come back with T-shirts, and the what made me notice it is that they got off the bus, and I'm trying to read the shirt, and it says "Don't get twisted," and I thought about it. He's right. Trying to keep them going. You know, you may not understand it, but if you're sitting around and you hear someone else your age either for it or against it,
Hmm.
it's going to cause thoughts to grow. You know, you're going to water those seeds, and
Hmm.
everyone will start thinking, okay, this is something that's good, or this is something that, and he paid for that. He paid for transportation and everything. So he did do
Hmm.
that. For those of you saying, well, how did he? He did. He's not just putting words on paper. Thank you, Pastor Shirley.
Right. Okay. Do you have feelings? And the same thing with
Hmm.
Representative Jasmine Crockett and her running for Senate.
Oh,
So, what do
come
you
on.
think of that?
Anyone doesn't know her by now. You know, what's the song? If you don't know me by now, you will never ever
You
know
will
me.
never, never. That's it. That's it.
We all know her, and we're very thankful for her outspokenness. Now, again, you don't have to agree with everything she does or by the way she does it, but I believe she's doing it from her heart. I believe she's doing it because she wants to see a change. And I like the fact that she's wise enough to know you're going to have to go through the system to make that change. You cannot do it really well or effectively
Exactly.
outside. She has served her time in the state.
Right.
She has gone to she knows this. I don't want to hear another person talk about draining the swamp. She knows that those are just words. Years, what is it, 250 years this year? Well, for 250 years this year, that swamp's been there and it will not be drained in the way you're trying to because everyone comes up and puts some more litter in the swamp, put some more bad stuff in the swamp. I mean, they were dealing and wheeling when first of all, when the Declaration was written, and then 11 years later when the Constitution was written, still wheeling and dealing. But hey, we've taken it to a new level now. I mean, we've
Yes.
taken it to the stratosphere. You know, we don't have to worry what Artemis 2 astronauts are going to see if they interact because we could give those people lessons. We're just plain doing bad things. And because we do them in plain sight, we seem to think that makes it right. But it doesn't. Whether you're doing wrong, and come on, just because I'm doing it where everybody can see me, and then you don't want
Hmm.
anyone to say that you're doing wrong. They didn't
Hmm.
understand. Hey, we are not stupid.
I tell you.
What about you and
Okay,
Miss Crockett?
Jazz. Oh, I'm happy that
Oh,
she is moving up. She's needed, and
yes.
she saw where she is, and it took quite a lot of consideration. And I'm sure she prayed about it because she will quote a scripture now, and she she will acknowledge God, and I believe she prayed about it, and then so her public record shows. It shows a Democratic lawmaker who blends progressive domestic stances on reproduction rights, civil rights, health care, and gun safety, and with a more mixed, sometimes pragmatic record on foreign policy, particularly votes tied to Israel and aid during the Gaza war that have drawn criticism from progressive and Palestinian rights groups. But people, you can do all the good you can and have, what is it, 99.99% of everything right. And somebody's going to pick that 0.001% out of it to put a negative in there. But this has been checked and is factual of what her platform is, and she has proven herself to us, her constituents, because I am one in her area, and she is very faithful about having town hall meetings. She's upfront, she's real, no put on or anything like that, because I've been on the call with her. And so it's really, really good that she is doing this, and I'm going to do everything I can to help her, everything I can, and that's uh, pr- speaking her name, telling people, she's a good person, and I can't persuade anyone to vote a certain way, but I can speak positive about her because I've had positive experiences with her. Even when I call her office, they are so nice. The one here in Dallas, uh, so nice. And so the difference is how a person, how you feel because the what is it, the people that work with you, they take on the character of you, if you've ever
That's true.
noticed it. That's right.
Yes.
And so when I'm speaking with her office, and I know how she relates to people and they relate to me kindly like she does, I said, okay, this is for real. And so
Yeah.
I'm happy for her, and I hope she wins. I really do. And that primary is March 3rd, I believe.
Yes, it
I
is.
believe it's March 3rd. Uh huh.
A
So,
month
yes, that's
away.
what I,
Mhm.
oh, yes. So we must exercise our right to vote. We must do that. And we must do it. I mean, everybody that possibly can get out, because there are more tricks are coming up, and all kinds of obstacles are trying to there are being developed. So everybody just talk less about when and where you're going and just go ahead and do it. Cast that vote. The votes do count. The votes do
I
count.
I was thinking the other day, is it one of these situations where it cannot be what I say? It has to be what I do. It can't just be words. It must be the
Hmm.
action following the words.
Right,
And
right.
you're so right about all of the maneuverings going on behind the scenes. And even if the devil whispers in your ear, even if someone comes up and says, this doesn't count, do it anyway. When you open up in your prayer, you talked about God being really omnipotent and knowing, what was going on. You didn't use those words, but
Hmm.
that's the inference I got. So,
Hmm.
just get thee behind me here. I'm going on in, I'm putting my ballot in, and I'm going to leave it in the box because that's as far as I can go. You know, God's got the rest
Hmm.
in control. So don't listen to that devil,
Hmm.
whoever he or she may be. Get down,
That's
Dot.
right.
Get on down. Yeah, I've got
So
work to
much
do.
is going on. That's
Yeah.
right. So much. So I'm going to go to this question. Which of the following issues, immigration or affordability, do you believe is most important to the average citizen? Why or why not, Dr. Mack?
I think they're both important, but I'm going to be like the what I consider the average American citizen. I'm looking at affordability. You can't stand and tell me that prices are down. And we're in Texas where they have more beef than God has stars, but the prices are going up. Nada. And I do know that the herds are smaller and we have a screwworm infestation, but hey, it's going up. Beef, pork, chicken, whatever, it's going up. Duck, it's just all going up. Now, why is it important? Because I'm looking at the day to day operations of my life. You know,
Mhm,
whether it's just me eating or if I have 4 or 5 other persons home, I've got to eat. I have to pay utilities. I have to
mhm,
just do the things that are required to get to the next day.
mhm,
Now, I am not worried about your chip plant down in the future. I don't care about the rare earth stuff right now. I need to be able to check out at the counter or to give the card number when the food is delivered. So,
mhm,
you know, immigration, yes, but I knew that was a smokescreen because we never got to the root of why all these people came here all of a sudden during the Biden administration. Who kept telling them to come? Come on. We never answered the question. Now that we have them, we want them to go. We need what are the states that are up now? We were going to go into Chicago. Judge stopped that. We were going to go into Maine. Judge stopped that. Finally the judges are saying, "Hey, wrong, wrong. What you're doing and the way you're doing it." You know, and I've never been an open border thing
mhm,
proponent. I think you need to take care of the folks at home first. And I'm just
But
being
it's,
I'm being real.
yes,
Take care of it.
right. That's right. There's somebody that thinks like we think
I hope.
all
I
over
hope.
the world. So, whichever way we think, there's always somebody on either one of those sides of the issue. And so, thank you, Dr. Max. So, I would say it depends on the issues, immigration or affordability. It depends on where you are and what effects effects they have on you. And so, if I were one of the people, and who's to say one day we might not be endangered, but the people who are very, very, uh, how should I say it? Upset, uptight, and in danger of being deported, whether they are citizens or not.
Or
It's
or
the
not.
ethnicity, and that is a problem. So if I were in that part of it, it would be immigration. And then for those of us, like you were talking about the beef, and this morning I saw where they were talking to a man that owns a barbecue restaurant, and he's saying where they used to pay like $4 and something a pound for the beef, now it's up to $8 and something a pound. It's definitely
Whoa.
going, and he said usually it will probably end up being like, I think he said $12 a pound. So it is really, really going up. So if I didn't have to quite worry about being deported or killed or something like that because of my ethnicity or what they think I am when they look at
That's
me,
true.
um, it would be affordability, paying the bills and all of that. And so it just depends on which side of the issue I would be on. And
Most
so,
important to you
mm,
affects you.
right, that's
Yeah.
right. And so, but then this day and this time, the things that are happening, hey, all of it, everybody has to be concerned about all of it. But it would be, uh, I try not to concern myself too much, even though, not saying I don't, I'm not concerned, but I try not to worry about
No,
affordability because I
I don't.
believe that our supplies are going to be met. I really believe that because it's already been proven. And
Well,
so,
I always think in terms of the. I'm going back to church again, Pastor Shirley. The
mm-hmm,
some
mm-hmm,
the Lord will make a way somehow.
mm-hmm.
Yes, I can still hear
When,
it on a Friday night of revival or something.
oh, when beneath the cross I bow,
That's right.
said to my
He'll fix-
soul, don't worry, the Lord will make
That's
a
it.
way somehow. And
Yes.
then then the scripture says, my God shall supply all my need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. I believe that. And so, I pray for myself as well as everyone else because
Oh yeah.
we all need something. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
we do. So you want to talk a little bit more about that, or are we
Oh
going on to
no,
the
that to me that was it. Um,
okay?
it bothers me when people throw word game shadows, and that's what it is. We didn't hear the word affordability until what 2 months ago. weren't even sure what it meant. There's this term. It's called affordability. No, but it's
Mhm.
called living from day to day. But you don't have to worry about that. But the rest of us do. Rest of us do. The empty shells that were representative of the cold weather, and that was because the trucks and things couldn't make it. Those that bring things in couldn't bring
Right.
it. That's a reality for some
Hmm.
people.
Hmm. Yes, it is. Yes,
And
it
we
is.
have to be concerned about them also.
Yes, yes, we do. And so, okay, on February 4th, Governor Greg Abbott today on February 4th highlighted the families that families can now apply for the Texas Education Freedom Act,
Mhm.
or excuse me, account, which is the acronym TEFA program. So by noon on that day, 20,000 applications had been received. So, what is one concern that you still have regarding New Education Freedom Act? You
Pastor
know,
Shirley.
say it again.
Pastor Shirley.
Uh huh.
What is your one concern?
Nothing. I'm not concerned about any of it. You know, there's some things that I will see and I will be concerned about it, but
Hmm.
this is one because there's too much other that's more important than this. And so, for the ones who are affected by this, and we say the teachers in the public schools and everything,
Hmm.
we just, because my daughter is a teacher and she's in the charter school, but then all of that, you know, works together. So, for the teachers, my concern is for the teachers and their security and and as well as safety, because we don't know what there are so many things they put these titles here, Texas Education Freedom Account, but what is underlying in there? What's all under there in the fine print? Because we know when they take one good one little inch, they're going to go for another inch and another inch and another inch. And we don't know what kind of state we might be in. So I don't concern myself to where it bothers me and I think about it. It's because, hey, it is what it is. And so many people have so much ego to they try to do everything they can. And the thing is, while they can. And so I don't concern myself about what these people are doing because they're just doing too much.
Doing too much. Mm. Yeah. My,
Too much.
I would like
Okay, Dr.
for them to have had a great deal more, um, uh, as you're saying, all of that that's on, I like to call it the fine print. Those were the things we
Mm-hmm.
didn't talk about, but they sometimes that little fine print is effective enough to overthrow what you're saying verbally. And that's, we've already had a challenge. We've had several challenges, but one of the first ones
Mm-hmm.
we had Ken Paxton saying, wait a minute, the private schools that are have not who have not complied with DEI, will they be eligible to get this grant? Will they be able to get this money? So all of that should have been worked out prior to. I know Governor Abbott pushed it through. He literally pushed it through,
Oh,
hardballed
yeah.
it through. Um, but how many? We're talking 1% of the population,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is, there's just a lot, as you say, a lot of questions. I don't lay awake thinking about it, but I do look at the repercussions that could occur, as you say. And that's all the public school people were saying from the beginning. Does this mean you're
Mm-hmm.
taking away from us? You know, and they never answered it.
And so people from experience, they know
Right.
something's up the road.
Yep.
They
Always.
know, and they play to
Always.
try to play this game with us, thinking that we're so naive until we're not aware of the fact that something is coming a little bit later, and they're going to push and push and push. Yes, you know all about that system, Dr. Mack.
Oh yeah. Oh
You were in it
yeah.
how many years? 30 something years?
33. 33.
Yes.
And
My
the rest
goodness.
in private schools. So I did my
Hmm.
stint in private schools.
Okay.
Yes.
So which one did you would you choose over the other? Wh-
If I had to just answer off the cuff, I would say public. However, there were
Okay.
great rewards in private schools, faith based schools. The
Hmm.
I think the one that's so not appreciated are the faith based schools. because they're
Okay.
really usually existing on a shoestring, or they have their
Mm-hmm.
own private endowment. But
Mm-hmm.
what they give the kids is it's just immeasurable, and each kid gets something that goes inside that helps them go
Mm-hmm.
forward. It's like the kids who go to Sunday school or went to Sunday school when you were a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
And, I look forward to Sunday school. It was my favorite part of Sunday. I did. I
Uh-huh.
just enjoyed it. You get a little something that lives inside of you, and it just goes on and on. And it's just that they don't get the credit, but they do such great work. They really do.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right. So now, what are at least two positives happening in the world will you share with us today? Two positives, and I did look up those, so um, let me get to that. I was looking at, well, two things that's in the 21st century. That's what I meant to put.
Okay.
Have improvements on cancer treatments. That was one of the ones
Yes.
that that
Yeah.
and more than most other things. And then the improvement, like when the COVID pandemic came,
Mhm.
the development of the vaccine, and
Mhm.
then they seem to be improving it each and every uh, I would say day, because I'm sure they're working on it every day anyway. And it's more effective, it seems now, because all people have to. They don't, if they want to get a booster, and they are supposed to be good and protected from that virus again, even though it's still happening. COVID is still
Yes.
happening to people, but it's not, well, I don't want it because I haven't had it, don't want it, and it affects each individual differently, and
Differently.
the degree of what is it, the degree degrees are different too. Some may get it and they might have the same strand, but it affects them more than it does the other person. But they have made improvements, and there are so many things happening in the world. I know that was two, but uh, when they had Jimmy Carter's funeral, I had no idea that he had a research facility.
Mhm.
And they had found cures. It was one uh, disease, or it was something that they found a cure for, and eradicated that. And I had no idea. So there are so many good things happening in the world.
Right.
It seems that all of this negativism is overshadowing all the good, but there is
Right.
so much good happening in the world. And I say I want people to hear it, even though many know it. But it seems that this negativity is overshadowing. But there is some good happening in the world, and each and every day there are things happening. People are doing good things
Mhm.
for people all over the world. People are still donating to the food banks, even though the just went down there for a while, and they do go up and they go down. But the
Yes.
food banks are still able to help many families. And as far as
And
the research hospitals, St. Jude, Scottish
mhm.
Rite, all of those, they are developing cures. They are developing ways, inventing things that help people with disabilities. It's so much good happening in this world today. And so I wanted to just talk
I
about
like
that. And
that.
so I know I did more than two, Dr. Mack, but
It's okay.
anyway.
What you're saying is so true. Sometimes when I'm writing or reading, and I'll look up and think about it. You know what? The Lord blessed us, and it was such a quiet blessing, a needed blessing. Understand? But it was such a quiet
Yes.
blessing. We just went on without saying thank you, and that happens all the time. One of those, it may sound like a small thing, But when we had the ice last week, when we had the inclement weather, we had people who were bringing other, not city officials, just regular you and me kind of people,
Mm-hmm.
bringing
Mm-hmm.
other people to the shelter. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the persons who were still out because it was already cold and icy had refused, the city people, but they
Mm-hmm.
came with just the regular Joe who says, let me give you a lift to the shelter. And they worked it
Mm-hmm.
out. Some of the shelters even accepted the dogs and the pets, because they
Uh-huh.
understand what the pets mean to those persons who are unhoused. But that
Yes.
kind of that kind of blessing is good. And then
Oh, yes.
there's when, again, for me, and you know how I've been
Mm-hmm.
there, when we get a judge from Mango, Maine, whoever, who says, "Okay, administration, wrong, can't do it out of your sphere," you know, a little blessing, a little blessing. I don't care how you read the Constitution and interpret it. In many cases, I think they don't even read it. I think they just decide we're going to do this, and they let somebody look it up and see if it's in the Constitution. you know.
Okay, that
But
part. Elaborate on what you're saying right there, please.
well, we decided that let's just take a look at the one about whether you are a citizen. If you're a non-white, whether you are a citizen and you have rights. Um, uh, when we were talking about what percentage does it take for a person to become a citizen, and I'm like, okay, it's there. You can't change those numbers. But guess what? We've got a group of people who want to say that's not what it means. They
Mm-hmm.
have gone back the phrase of starting for all men are created equal. That is not
Mm-hmm.
what it means now. It is what it means. You can't just up and change it. You just can't. Just because you want to think differently, you can't just up and change it. So, we just have to, little blessings like that. I'm thankful.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
truly thankful. Yeah. But
Yes.
I'm also leery when you get to the point where you tell teachers what they can and cannot teach, how they can and cannot talk, you're handicapping them and they're going to leave the profession. The ones who are creative, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
leave because, we can't go back and rewrite history. Had a whole section of the African American Museum removed because we didn't like the story, the slavery story in there. Well, slavery did happen, didn't it, Pastor Shirley?
Well, from what I am told of our story, it definitely did.
But you can't go back and just, I don't like it, just take it out. I'm taking it out. What is it? Ben Carson said, the indentured people. Do we know the meaning of indentured?
Yeah, we do, but who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Some people
Yes,
just want to say plain old slavery.
there you go. Say it like it is. And don't just tell the good parts of it, tell the bad parts. Just don't dwell on the bad parts either. There's some good parts. But we know that from our ancestry. We
Mhm.
we want to attain peace, but I am a firm believer that we need to model what we are trying to attain. I
Oh,
have
yes.
a problem if you're saying um, we
Hmm.
have to guards at the polling place that we don't have enough sense to walk in and do what we need to do and put a ballot in a box without having someone standing over us. Don't need that. We've been doing voting for a long time. A lot of people
Oh,
died
yes.
to do this.
That's right. That's right. That is so true. And I want to go back to when we were talking about the people helping the people during the storm, the ice storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it was. What was it?
I
Rain,
so
sleet, and snow all on top of one on top of the other. But I
right.
was looking at this good story of a store here, and it really made me feel good to for it to be made public, even though people know that there are nice people. And these people in these stores, they don't, not all of them are going out there, get away, get off the property, get off the property, and all that kind of stuff. Some people are nice to the people who don't have a place to live and people who hang around the stores and everything. And so I saw this story where there was a storekeeper, I'll say storekeeper, he worked in the store. And he knows the people that hang around the store. And there was one particular lady, it was on the news, and he
Hmm.
he didn't see her. And he was concerned about her and went out and found that lady. And when he found her, she
Yeah.
was so cold and stiff. And he got her, picked her up in his
Yes.
arms, took her into that store, and they got her warm and she thawed out. And then they took her to the hospital. The
Yeah.
ambulance came and got her.
Mm.
These,
To
there are
me,
good,
good
say it
people.
again, please. Yes, ma'am, there
They'll
are good people.
he's a good person with a Christian heart. He's not gonna be standing up on Sunday yelling about what he did. He may not even
Right.
be in church because he may be at the store. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I
And
like
he,
that story too.
yes, and he knew her. He knew her habits and everything, and he knew, hey, I don't see her. Something's not right, and went and found her,
That's great.
frozen, but yet she
And,
was alive.
yeah, she had her reasons for not going. She did. But I am so thankful that he missed her in the group. Or
Right.
yeah,
People can say uh, what they could say one thing, they could say another, but all of the people that are out there, they have no, some don't have transportation, some don't, they're so far away from shelters and things like that, to everybody, just somebody gets left out. And it might not be intentional. Then they might be somewhere trying to get warm or whatever. They miss out on a ride if it comes in. Well, there's so many things that could happen, but this happened so that this could be made public so people
good.
could see good things do happen.
Oh yes, we're people who
Yes.
got up and went to the shelters at night when they made the call, but they needed extra volunteers because they had more people than they anticipated, and that they
Mm-hmm.
would be there for a longer length of time.
Right. So
I
there.
I am I agree with those persons who are calling for the Dallas City Council to
Mm-hmm.
do more. Now I don't know what they need to do. They have all
Mm-hmm.
the data and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
they're saying that they didn't do enough. But I thought they did a remarkable job for, as you said, those other circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Mm-hmm.
not to take into consideration there's some who just don't want to be enclosed. They don't want to be in in a shelter because they don't trust the shelter.
Mm-hmm. And don't want to be under somebody else's authority too. And sometimes it's because of a bad experience, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's just a
Yes.
frame of mind that they're in, because so many people have different experiences, and could be when they were younger or whatever, or even after they became adults and had some kind of breakdown, mental, communication, whatever, could be family problems or whatever. There are all kinds of things going on out there, and these people need someone who can understand them. And it's unfortunately, everybody in these places is not the ideal person to deal with those people.
Yeah, we often talk about matching people to putting the right person to handle the right problem. Just because you
Right.
have a degree in social work doesn't make you a good social worker. And I just use that as an example. I could have used
Exactly.
a
Hmm.
policeman, or heck, even a nurse in a hospital. Just because you got your certificate doesn't mean that you should be working with people who are ill. And if you're having a bad
Right.
day, I'll say it like I used to tell the teachers and the kids: if you're having a bad day, whisper to somebody and stay at home, because all you're going to do is do work
Right.
and make other people unhappy.
Right. That's my girls fussing. Well, they hear something. So anyway, all right. So that's wonderful, Dr. Beck. Okay. Do you believe that the commander in chief should continue to comment on the situation with Iran and the other countries of the Middle East?
Pastor Shirley.
Oh, I think that some things are better left unsaid.
Amen. Amen. And I'm gonna be that little mission sister sitting on sitting on that front seat down way at the end. Amen. After everybody else is passed on with that point. Amen. It's
Oh,
like
yes.
she had to think about it so that she could, she could give her acceptance. Yeah, amen. I agree with you. I, my reasoning again is sometimes you can say something that causes the situation to heat up.
Oh,
By
yes.
heat, you can make it worse. Unless you
Exactly.
got all the data in the world and you believe and trust the data that you've gotten. But so often he'll say he doesn't trust the CIA or whoever's bringing him the data. So I think, you know, it, that's a very explosive situation. We literally just got out of it. Really. All
Hmm.
those years, all those lives lost, and in some cases 2 or 3 family members were killed in that.
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
but sometimes we just need to not say anything, but then there are times when we need to say something, and that particular person keeps his mouth closed and he needs to say something. But I guess it's need to go like Solomon and pray for wisdom.
And it doesn't reach everybody, I don't think.
Let's hope it gets to him.
Okay, to you,
Okay.
what are or oh well, we already talked about the breakthroughs. So if you have the chance, and I say have because we don't know, if you have the chance to converse with a very influential person about your choice subject, what would it be and who with? Dr. Mac? I'm interested in who would you talk to?
All right, Pastor Shirley. The most
Okay.
influential person I can think of is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if I had a chance to talk to him, I would thank him first, you know, and not complain about all the things in my life. Usually when you get to an influencer, you want to tell them about the bad things and you want them to fix them. But I'm going to work on the assumption that these are tests and I didn't do well on all of them. I got by, but I didn't do well on all of them. But what I would ask is if he could bring back the concept, if we go through, especially the New Testament, with the day of the Lord is coming, if he could bring that back for everybody, you know, no ethnic things or anything like that. If he would, and just let us understand for just a short time what it means to be good and what it means to believe in what he preached.
All right,
How
that
is
sounds
how,
good.
how is that? How is that?
That's, hey, sounds good. That's the person you want to talk with, and that
Yes.
sounds good. And so, the person that I choose to talk to, if I get a chance, hey, who knows? All things are possible, but I'm not asking for a chance. But if I would have the chance, I would talk to Donald Trump.
Mm,
I want to know what makes him tick. And my approach would not be controversial, it would
yeah.
not be judgmental. I would have the wisdom of Solomon. I think you mentioned Solomon earlier. The
Yes.
wisdom to talk because there is a deep layer that's lying beneath, or we could say it could be in the back of his brain that needs to come out. And I'm not saying he'd do it for me, but I'm saying I would approach him non-controversial, in a non-controversial way, a non-judgmental way, and not going into debate with him or anything like that. But we don't know what he might say or come up with. But if he gave me the opportunity, gave me the choice of a subject to talk to him about, I would like to know what makes him tick. I would like to know what makes him tick because I don't even know whether he even thinks about it. But there's something deep seated that causes him to be who he is. That's what I
to
would do.
react to things the way he does.
To be who he is.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Just
Well,
who he is. Uh-huh.
that um that would be interesting. And if you notice, each time he's interviewed, he takes on basically a different personality. There will be an interview on after the Super Bowl with Tom Yamas. I have watched excerpts of it. I will not be
Uh-huh.
able to sit. I will not be able to sit and watch it all. So I'm not even going to try to get a book and read. But I'm not even going to try that. But but that would be interesting. It really would, and I'm very confident that you would be able to pull it off. I am confident that your approach would allow him to maybe
Just
because
open
he
up.
yeah not be as defensive as he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I expect everybody who talks to me to hurt me, and I'm sorry, he feels
Mm-hmm.
that way. But there again, as we were talking about reasons, there's a reason
Mm-hmm.
for that, and maybe we can get to
Right.
the bottom of it.
Maybe
That's
so. Yes, so I would like to have a conversation with him. And like I said, just approach him, and he would have already had to consent to it and
I
be
believe he
open
has to
to.
have his. They want his questions in advance.
Oh,
I
that's what
think
I'm
that's
saying.
the way
That's
he
why he would have to
does.
consent. He would get them in advance. And
Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. So if he
interesting.
would would agree, I would approach him differently. And because either when people interview him, they have one approach in mind. And so the people who are favorable toward him, they have one approach. And those who are not favorable, we see it all the time. They're controversial. They want to ask these hard, well, not hard questions, but they want to ask questions that are provoking. And so I would just, let him talk. I wouldn't let him talk 75 minutes an hour, talk up the whole thing, because we would have to agree, just like they would have to agree to what I ask him. He'd have to agree to go by the guidelines that I have too, because it's a two way thing.
Otherwise, you get
And
a
yes, and
pull,
about
pull
them, of
yourself.
course, yeah, we know
You,
we know that they have to have everything in advance, and that's why I said if he would give me the choice of the subject, if he would choose, what I want to talk about, and then hey, that's it. One thing, period. Just a general conversation with him, and I believe it would be very interesting, very interesting, and I think it would be a different atmosphere. I really do. I guess people say that woman, but I really do.
no, you
Hmm.
look. This is your point of view. We get to share our point of view and comments. So
Oh yes, and some people
interesting.
are hard set against him, but he's human, just like all of the rest of us. And he definitely has his flaws, like all of the
Mhm.
rest of us. It would be a very interesting thing to just sit down and have a conversation with him. And there's another person that I like so much because I think it would be so much fun. And that's George Bush. What is he? The second or third? Which one is he? Our George Bush,
Oh, you mean
not Barbara's
you
husband.
mean
Yeah,
yeah, the current one.
I would love. Oh yes, I would love to sit in because I see he
I
and
think you're
Michelle have
talking
so
about
much.
George W. and not George Herbert.
Yes, that's what I'm. That's
The
exactly
one
who I'm
who's
talking about.
you're gonna have to make that trip up
Yes,
to the museum, and maybe he'll be there the day that we go. because he
Up
does
to
come
what?
and to the
You
museum.
talking about the library?
Yes, his library. Why did
Oh,
I
okay.
call it museum?
Yeah,
No,
because it's
it's a library.
okay. Library, museum, whatever. Yeah, and so because I see how much fun he and Michelle have
They
together when they
do.
get together, they have so much fun. I said I know he would be so much fun. But anyway, our time is up, and Dr. Mack, I've enjoyed it today. And to
Okay.
everyone, thank you so much for being here with us. And you can contact us through Facebook, through YouTube. All you have to do is put messages in there, and we will get them. And so, and
We
Dr. Mack,
appreciate it.
give them your uh, YouTube uh, address
Um,
for your show, for the show.
okay. From the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. From the Biblical Files of
Hmm.
Dr. Mack. Yes. And we we're going to ask that especially if you have the time, let the younger ones watch the Winter Olympics. I know we're in Texas, but believe it or not, we've got some women and men from Texas participating. When I say young ones, I'm saying under what is it, under 15. um just watch a portion of it. If you don't know what slusion is, or if you're not sure what free dancing is or whatever, just look at it and see if you like it. And by the way, Pastor Shirley, the National Football League is sponsoring the National Flag Football program, and it is part of the 2028 Summer
Uh-huh.
Olympics. I wanted to share because we talked about that earlier.
Okay.
A lot of people say when we talked about stuff earlier, but we did talk about it. Uh,
Yes.
but it's all about exposure. Um, and I know everyone's getting ready to watch all the soccer you can stand this summer, but don't forget the international cricket playoffs are occurring right now. You got the NFL and the NBA also. Just look at everything and take
All
what you like
right.
and dismiss the other.
Hmm. And one thing I saw Mike Tyson on CBS Morning, and he has a commercial, a Super Bowl commercial, and so pay
Hmm.
attention to that one. Uh-huh. And
Okay.
there are so many good commercials, but his especially is good and is very interesting. So thank you so much,
Okay.
Dr. Mack, and thank you everybody for being here with us. And God willing, join us next Friday. And Dr. Mack, when do you release your show? Do you do it live? What time?
We're going to try to stay with 1 o'clock. You know, um, the 1 o'clock Wednesdays. 1 o'clock Wednesdays.
Okay.
Try to,
Oh, and they can find you on okay on YouTube.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're looking at the
Okay,
book of
doke. And I did.
Proverbs.
Okay, and I
I'm going to
did
continue.
share. Okay, say it again, please.
We'll continue to let you know, but earlier this time, earlier this time, what we are. But I can tell you, it is the Book of Proverbs this coming week. We'll be looking at the virtuous woman from a different point of view.
Okay, all right, everybody. Mac, I'll see you on the other side of this. Everybody, thank you so much, and please share this webcast. We love you.
Bye bye.